lighter than light, darker than darkness, beyond all things and creatures, yet fixed in the heart of everyone. From me the shining worlds flow forth, to me all at last return. Yet to me neither men nor angels may draw nigh, for I am known only to myself. Ever the same is mine inmost being, absolutely one, complete, whole, perfect, always itself, eternal, infinite, ultimate, formless, indivisible, changeless. Of all existences, I am the source, the continuation, and the end. I am the germ, I am the growth, I am the decay. All things and creatures I send forth. I support them while yet they stand without. And when the dream of separation ends, I cause their return unto myself. I am the life and the wheel of the law, and the way that leadeth to the beyond. There is none else. I am the fire of mind, which divideth itself into the superior and inferior natures, and putteth on a robe of flesh to come down. I am the vital principle of all that is. Nothing is that does not live, and of that life I am the source. As it is written, first the stone, then the plant, then the animal, and then the man. But before the stone, I am the fire, distributed equally in space, nowhere absent, filling all, and before the fire, hidden within it, I am the pure knowing, whence all forms flow forth. Apart from me, there is neither wisdom nor knowledge nor understanding. Into every state of knowledge do I enter, into false knowledge as well as into true, so that I am not less the ignorance of the deluded than the wisdom of the sage. For what thou callest ignorance and folly is my pure knowing, imperfectly expressed through an uncompleted image of my divine perfection. Woe unto them who condemn these my works unfinished. Behold, they who presume to judge are themselves incomplete. Through many a fiery trial of sorrow must they pass, ere the clear beauty of my wisdom may shine from out their hearts like unto a light burning in a lamp of alabaster. I am the doer of all. Nothing moveth but by my power. Mine is the healing influence, flowing down from consecrated hands. Mine, the venom of the adder's fang. Nothing falleth but by me, and in whatsoever riseth, mine is the power that lifteth up. My presence is the substance of all things. I am the virgin snow on mountain heights. I am the fruitful loam in valley depths. I am the gold and silver of the temple vessels. I am the mire on sandals left by the faithful at the temple gate. See me and regard me equally in all, O Israel, and thou shalt see indeed. For seeing, thus shalt thou see too, that nothing is or can be my antagonist. All and in all shall I fight myself. What hath power to limit or defeat the very source of power? Know then that all thy sense of conflict is but the shadow play of ignorance. Wait with patience on me, thy Lord, and in my appointed time will I make clear what now is dark, and show before thee straight and true a path of safety in the very place where now an abyss of terror seems to open at thy feet. I am the beginning of all beginnings, checked by neither time nor space, held by no bonds of name or form, present everywhere, centering the full perfection of mine exhaustless power. I am thy Lord, O Israel, and Lord of countless hosts. Seek me in the Holy of Holies, in the heart of the true temple, on the holy mountain. Behold, I am with thee always, and I never sleep. I am the height above all heights. My descent reacheth likewise below all depths. Yet am I poised forever between height and depth, in perfect balance. Consider me under the aspect of olive. There shalt thou find both height and depth, the path also which joineth them for descent and return. Olive in truth am I, the ox of solar fire, whose radiance lighteth all the world, whose life breath ebbeth and floweth in creatures great and small, whose power taketh form in all the acts of men, of beasts, of plants, yea, and of things which seem inanimate as well. Olive am I, the patient burden bearer, strong to carry the heavy load of the manifest. Olive am I, the eternal worker, by whose might all fields are tilled, and from whose life all seeds derive their growth and increase. Olive am I, the first and the root, for mine unfathomable will. The universe hath its beginning in my boundless wisdom, are the types and patterns of all things. Before all worlds I was, in all worlds I am. And when words are but a memory, I shall be. The Meditation on Olive, from the Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom, by Paul Foster Case.
Listen, life is beautiful, challenging, interesting. What's your life like right now? You know, so many people have had so much fear about the future. Some people today are more optimistic about it. We've been through hell with COVID and so much disruption, and even...
The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom, by Paul Foster Case. Key 1, The Magician. The Meditation on Bathing. One and one only am I, in essence, changeless, indivisible, concealing within my being the 10 lights of divine emanation. In this, mine unalterable unity, am I supreme, and none is equal unto me. Yet though I myself remain unchanged throughout eternity, my power doth manifest itself in ceaseless change. They err who speak of my changelessness in essence as if it were fixity in operation. That which changes, not is mine own nature, but this includeth the possibility of infinite diversity in ways and works. For the uninstructed, this is a stumbling block, confused by words of double meaning. They perceive not that this, mine immutable nature, is in essence whose first ground is life, and not mere being. Thou knowest me not, O Israel, if thou regardest me only as he who is. They know me indeed, who know that I am he who liveth. I am life itself, and without mind there is no life. I am the essence of mind, and the essence of mind is will. Of my will, all created wills are but reflections, and the essence of that will, what is it but desire? I am life eternal, and I am the eternal longing for manifestation, because of which I bring forth the shining worlds. For this do I divide myself, becoming two. Of these two, the first is the crown of my primal will. This, my superior nature, standeth above the world, which floweth forth from mine act of knowing, yet even the superior nature is to mine inmost essence as something outside, and therefore is it to me as Baith, my house, for I am within it, and it is an emanation from me. Nevertheless, I fill my dwelling place, hence it is written that the Supreme is distinguished from the crown by name only. In my supreme abode stand I as the onlooker, because of my unwavering contemplation. The stream of manifestation continueth on its course. Whatsoever existeth hath its beginning in my will, continueth in my will, and by my will cometh at last to its appointed end. Then this, indeed, there is no other will in all the universe, yet in it do all creatures have a part. From my substance all things derive their substance, and all that hath form is built from my fourfold elemental manifestation. Four are the subtle principles which the wise conceal from the uninitiate by the names fire, water, air, and earth. In endless variety of mixture and proportion directed by my will, these mingle together for the production of forms. They are transmutations of a single essence, and from their mingling are brought forth all things. Watching thus the multiplicity of existences proceeding from my single essence, I understand them in all their relations. I perceive that their beginning, middle, and end is in truth myself. Thus do I see that all things, whatsoever their appearance, because they spring from mine own nature, are grounded in goodness. My superior nature is reflected also in the mind of man, created in mine image. Know me thus as the source of all true will. Know me also as the power to perceive objects as having the appearance of standing outside and apart from him who regardeth them. That in thee, which so perceiveth objects, which giveth the power to distinguish between them, which revealeth them unto thee in their relations to each other and to thyself, and enableth thee to search out the laws of their reciprocal action. Know this to be identical with my superior nature. Wherever this power acteth, whether in low forms or in high, I only am its source, and I the knower. Not thine, but mine is the power of attention, of observation, of discovery, of the discerning of sequence in the operations of nature. In all this, and in the power of discrimination, my superior nature worketh through thee. Happy art thou, if thou canst grasp this truth. For then, understanding that not thy weak self, but my all-knowing mind looketh out upon the world through thine eyes, shalt thou have faith to let me see. Then shalt thou overcome the evil of thy senses by devoting them wholly to my use. Not thou, but I, shalt then discern the weight and shape and texture of the things thou touchest. Not thine, but mine, shall be the knowledge of the scent and savor gained through nose and tongue. And when I use thine ears for hearing, they shall be attuned to sweetness harmonies, where now they are assailed by strident discord. So shalt thou become a partaker in the bliss of mine experience of the universe, a joy unknown to those of unperfected soul, whose time of realization is not yet at hand. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case, the meditation on faith.
Getting new permanent teeth in 24 hours isn't just about having an aesthetic smile. It's about reclaiming the confidence, memories, and moments that have been lost over time. We've heard heart-wrenching stories from countless patients who've given up life's simple joys. From openly laughing at a friend's joke, to smiling in precious family photos, even avoiding social events like weddings out of fear of judgment. At Nuvia, we believe in more than just dental solutions. We believe in healing. It's not merely about how the teeth appear, but the renewed confidence and joy they can bring. Because every smile has a story, and we're here to help you rewrite yours.
tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 2, High Priestess. The Meditation on Gimel. Thou hast seen, O Israel, how for the sake of creation, the one life that I am seemeth to divide itself, becoming two. Of these two I have made known to thee my superior nature, the crown of primal will, wherein I have my supreme abode. Hearken now, while I expound the mystery of mine inferior nature, which standeth in the tree of life as the Sephirah of wisdom. Forget not that these two, though they be named the superior and inferior, are in truth of equal rank. As it is written, that which is below is as that which is above, and that which is above is as that which is below. Be thou not led astray by their false doctrine, who ascribe to the inferior nature somewhat less of power and worth than inherent in the superior. The two are as the pans of a balance, each hath its own peculiar quality, each hath its appointed sphere of operation. One cometh not before the other, but together they exist from everlasting to everlasting. Mine inferior nature is the universal substance, the divine mirror, wherein I, who dwell at the heart of all things, am reflected to myself. To the uninstructed, therefore, who mistake the reflection for that which is reflected, my secondary nature seemeth to be more interior than the primal will. This error may be likened to the illusion which ariseth when one seeth a room reflected in a glass, and thinketh he seeth the room itself. For though what presenteth itself in the mirror of wisdom is internal, the medium of reflection hath its place in the without, in the realm of secondary and created things. As the substance whence all forms arise, the vehicle of my divine essence, my inferior nature is to the superior as is passive to active, as woman to man, as Eve to Adam. Yet to every light of emanation proceeding from it on the tree of life, doth this same wisdom stand as root and source. Hence in the scripture is wisdom spoken of as a woman. And when it is said, wisdom hath builded her a house, but elsewhere to this same wisdom the wise assign the title of the Father. Never is the heavenly wisdom known as mother, for she is the virgin substance of all things, whose purity naught can defile. Remember now that I myself am the pure knowing, whence all manifestation ariseth. Recall to mind that my superior nature is the primal will, the eternal watcher, under whose regard the stream of creation floweth. The substance of the stream is the inferior nature, wherein I see innumerable images of myself. These be all things and creatures, great and small. Whatever existeth is a ripple on the surface of the stream, but all are of the one substance. Thus all share in the peculiar quality of the stream itself, which is the mirror of myself to myself, the root of all remembrance. Creation is the record of mine ever-changing manifestation. All things bear the imprint of the history of the universe. Nothing of mine actively escapeth this record. In it do men share, because they too are parts of the stream of mine inferior nature. Thus are they partakers in my perfect recollection, which is the source of all memories and the root of all the wisdom of mankind. All wisdom, therefore, is summed up in knowledge of me. To gain this is the aim of all research, of all works, of all devotion. From knowledge of me cometh the lesser knowledge of the things which I have brought forth. Of no avail is this lesser knowledge unless it be founded upon the knowledge of my superior and inferior natures. Hence it is written, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, and thy days shall be long. To keep me in vivid remembrance is to unite thyself to the subtle principle of life eternal. Mine inferior nature is the bond of union between myself and all created beings. Hence it is likened to Gimel, the camel, which bringeth a man safe through desert wastes from city to city. Again, it is likened to Gimel, because the camel beareth rich and costly merchandise, and again for that the camel betokeneth travel and communication, being thus a symbol of change, and of the flux and mingling of ideas borne upon the stream of memory. Happy is he who bestrideth this camel of mine inferior nature, which bringeth them who learn the secret of its mastery unto me, their Lord. A task most difficult and laborious. In the conquest of the power of recollection, strength and courage and patience must they have who would gain this victory. But these shall be as kings and princes in this world, and even as gods in the world to come. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on Gimel.
Did you learn me that for her? You do? You took a spin? Oh, one for your sister? Yeah? Bring it. Let me see it. Thank you.
The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 3, the Empress. The meditation on Daleth. I am the door of life, the passage from the world of ideas into the world of form. Expressing myself, I take form and substance, but the power which worketh in that substance is the sovereign force of mine outflowing ideas. Consider well, O Israel, the knowledge of me which thou hast in the sacred letters. For with them, even as it is written, hath the universe been created. In Aleph, I presented myself as the source of life eternal, self-dedicated to bearing the heavy burden of creation. In Baith, thou seest me as the primal will, which fixing beforehand the boundaries of the universe, maketh mine own being, the dwelling place of all creatures. As it is written, Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations, before the mountains were brought forth, wherever thou hast formed the earth and the world. In Gimel appeareth my perfect wisdom, which uniteth all seeming contraries and establisheth throughout creation the balance of warring forces. Now in Daleth I present myself as the portal, through which life, eternal and unbounded, entereth the realm of temporal and limited creation. That great door is Binah, and Binah is Ima, the fruitful mother of all living. She is the desirable one, the precious thing, more to be sought after than rubies and fine gold. She is both father and mother, for her fruitfulness cometh from the yod of supernal wisdom. She is the thought which spinneth the plan of existence, that web of manifestation which entangleth the minds of fools, and giveth understanding to the wise who know the secret of its mystery. In her is concealed the plenitude of Tetragrammaton, and hidden in that door of perplexity is the Son, who is from all and among all. This is the gateway of life and form, yet through it comes also death and conflict, even as it is shown in the numbering of Daleth, for D, L, being 434, is also 11, and 11 is the half or division of 22, which represented the whole circle of creation. Therefore is the door a cause of separation and of the setting of one part against another. And for this is it written that the Lord is a man of war. For in this saying is elf, dolleth, concealed. I am the knowledge of the wise, and in me the ignorance of the foolish hath its root. From me come forth all conditions, the evil as well as the good. Without the setting of metes and bounds, there is no bringing forth, and thus there could be no creation without seeming evil. Creation hath its origin in life unlimited, yet for the sake of manifestation doth that life descend into the appearance of time and place, and that which hath neither end nor beginning appeareth to be born, and to be brought at last to death. Deluded by this appearance are those ignorant ones in whom the light of my wisdom hath not yet dawned. From their delusion springeth a false desire, and from that false desire is generated unrighteous action. Yet nothing is performed save by my power, and I am the real actor in these deluded ones. As truly as in any sage, from the fires of pain and suffering kindled by their ignorance, in my good time shall they come forth, cleansed from the dross of illusion, resplendent images of my golden self. My creative power is the projection of myself, and produceth the semblance of another. But know, O Israel, that besides me there is none other. I only am the knower and the actor.
A lot of you that will acknowledge that some of this stuff's problematic. When you start looking at what are you actually doing to solve this problem, you're not doing much. Many of you, I'll bet you there's some of you in this room that you use the same password for everything you do. And I'll bet you that when it says the minimum criteria of a capital letter, a lowercase letter, a special character, a number, you got one number, you got one capital letter. Like, here's the way that you can actually fix these problems. You know what the most complex thing to crack a password is? The length of the password. In fact, you could actually put a password, if it would allow you to not have special characters, just put just a bunch of lowercase letters. The more characters, the more complex. Now, you can make it even more complex if you're mixing it up with special characters, numbers, uppercase, lowercase, but just length of password. You motherfuckers will say, password must be a minimum of 8 characters. Your fucking password is 8 characters because you're too lazy to fucking think of a 9th one. And that's the problem. And some of you assholes, like, I would bet there's some of you that legitimately have the same exact password on everything. And you're gonna hear this and go, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. But you're not gonna go do something about it. I like big worded, by the way.
The one I am, whether alone and unmanifest, or appearing in the multiplicity of created things, the primal force of mind ideas dwelleth continually in absolute. Thence it floweth forth into the 3 lower worlds through the door of understanding. As it is written, by understanding has he established the heavens. I am the fruitful womb whence the creatures have their birth. I am the mother of mothers, hence it is commanded, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. For I, who am thy father, am thy mother also. And if thou honorest me, the giver of life, then shalt thou triumph at last. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The Meditation on
Egyptians understood that they could use sound to reduce their weight and the gravitational effect.
The Book of Tokens, 20 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 4, the Emperor. The Meditation on Hay. In whatsoever object thou perceiveth, know me as the essence, as the idea, and as the interior nature. Because of this, the wise come easily to me by many paths, yet in truth these different roads are but a single way. If thou canst penetrate into the nature of the simplest thing, there thou shalt find me. This is the key to the mystery of the sacred letters. Fix thy mind on the object set before thee by any letter, and hold thy thought to meditate thereon. Then shall the inner nature of that object be known to thee, and by this means shalt thou draw nigh to some aspect of my being. Consider then the secret meaning of the letter Hey. For even as I am the essence, and idea, and interior nature of every ox, of every house, of every camel, and of every door, so am I also the essence and idea and interior nature of every window. If thou set thy mind to meditate upon the interior nature of a window, thou shalt readily perceive that every window hath somewhat the nature of a door, inasmuch as it is an opening in the wall of a house. The house is Kether, the crown of primal will, and the door is Binah, the gate of understanding. And as the thought of the door is from the building of the house, so is the thought of the window from the fashioning of the door. Hence those instructed in the secret wisdom declare that said the path of beneficence proceedeth from Binah, the gate of understanding, even as the idea of the window proceedeth from the idea of the door. For I am merciful, because mine understanding compasseth the secret nature of all things, and my loving kindness is the fruit of my discrimination. Again, a window is set in the wall of a house, even as the eye is set in the head, that they who dwell within may look abroad to see what passeth without. Hence it is written in the book of formation that the letter He correspondeth unto the faculty of sight. This referreth to my power of vision, which is not as thine, since nothing escapeth it, and all things appear unto it in their true aspect. It is written, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. And because I, the dweller in the house of the supernal will, see all things as they really are, my vision hath no taint or false judgment. Seeing, I understand, and because nothing is hid from me, therefore am I merciful. But the path of my mercy is a way concealed from the profane, because they have not attained unto my perfect vision. Easier to follow is the flight of an eagle from my way, soareth high above the comprehension of the mind of man. As it is written, Lo, he goeth by me, and I see him not. He passeth on also, and I perceive him not. Yet is the secret of that way hidden in thy bosom, O Israel. For my way is the way of the word, and the word is hidden in my heart. For this is the word creative, which calleth all things into being. Here is a mystery, for the letter He concealeth the word, and the word is a truly a vision as it is a voice. With me there is no difference between speech and sight. In very truth I utter myself by seeing. Unto the uninstructed the coming forth of the creative word is as a mist and a vapor, for existence is as a veil of concealment, which hideth my true nature from their eyes. Hidden and imperceptible is the essence of my being, which sages call concealed with all concealments. By day, when thy senses busy themselves with their appropriate objects, if thou seest me at all, shall I be unto thee even as to thy forefathers, naught but a pillar of cloud, vague and uncertain, going before thee. But at night, when thou hast withdrawn thy senses into themselves, and thy mind is no longer swept away by the multiplicity of objects, thou shalt perceive me more clearly, as a pillar of living fire. Behold, it shall be well with thee, if thou canst understand this saying, and if thou knowest what is day and what is night. None hath seen me face to face, for I am the forerunner of all. Thus, so Israel, am I ever before thee on the way of life. And to all mankind it is said, even as to Moses, thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. No matter how far thou goest, I have already passed that way. Thou shalt never see me as I am. But thou mayest know me in what I have done. The wise discover me in my works. No man perceiveth me as father, until as mother I have brought forth creatures. The following of He after Daleth in the alphabet is a sign and symbol of this truth, even as Ima, the mother, concealeth the yod of Ab, the father. So doth A, thou, the wise, call it the mother, wherewith creation took place. Conceal that same paternal yod, since He, in its plenitude, is the number 10. Therefore the He belongeth to my paternal mercy. Since in the number 4, which pertaineth unto Chesed, mercy, is the number 10 concealed, even as it is hidden in the word window. And if that exhaustless mercy lie hid the riches of the kingdom, for the decad is the kingdom, and the decad is hidden in Chesed. Regard me, therefore, as the paternal yod, which imparteth life.
How's it going? Should I give it a call?
To the whole creation, not made with hands, but begotten in this universe of which thou art at once a part and the whole. Of mine own substance are all things made, and I give myself freely to everyone. They know me truly, who see that it is my nature to bring forth and to originate. This whole universe is an expression of my primal will to yield fruit. Even as in Genesis thou mayest read that light was the first creation, so hath it been known since the beginning by the wise. They worship me with wisdom, who turn their faces toward the east. For the shining of the dawn is a type of all my works. This whole creation is the irradiation of that limitless light which I am. But never shall mere man attain to the source of that divine illumination.
Hey Charlie, it's John. Sorry, I was texting you on my Google Voice number. You can call me or text me here if you want to meet up tonight or get some dinner. Talk to you soon.
None may grasp me, and to those who seek to capture me in the net of thought, I am the eternal fugitive. Yet thou I elude pursuit. I am the source and support even of the pursuers. I am, in truth, the food of all beings. The bread thou eatest is my body, the wine thou drinkest is my blood. For because creation took place with the letter A, that letter is the ground of all created existence, the stuff from which everything is built, the supply for every need. All this am I. Therefore, though none may capture me in the net of thought, he shall speak truly who shall say, laying his hand on anything soever, whether men prize it or scorn it, as of no worth, dost ask me to show thee the Lord. Verily in this shalt thou find him, if thou hast eyes to see. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on hay.
I have dealt with mental and emotional struggles for a very long time. I was also dealing with the fear of embracing negative emotion, fear of failure, fear of rejection, which a lot of people can also.
The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 5, the Hierophant. The meditation on Valve. As that which uniteth all things in the world of the manifest, I am rightly made known by Valve, the nail. Because I am all, and in all, therefore am I the link or bond which joineth together the parts of the fabric of existence. In all the universe there is no break, by bonds indissoluble. Each point is fastened to every other. Behind the separate existences is the unity of my being, which is as a net gathering together all these many forms. Nothing existeth alone. All things are in combination. Manifestation requireth the appearance of separate parts. When I show forth my power, what I bring into existence must seem other than myself. And because I am wholly free, I present myself to myself in an endless variety of forms. Yet it is the seeming isolation of class and kind, the separateness of creatures, naught but illusion, which deludeth me not, nor are they by it deceived, in whom my wisdom has ripened. Unfathomed and unfathomable is the great deep of mine interior nature. In the unplumbed abyss of the no thing, mine eternal will ariseth, and by the rising of that will, the no thing cometh forth into the appearance of something. That will is the small point of all beginning, and its coming forth is a search for itself, for that will is a hunger and a desire and a longing. My nature being changeless, this eager longing altereth not. It is a thing concluded before all manifestation, a purpose unalterably decided upon, a determination which I confirm by mine experience. Out of that longing cometh the fixing of the boundaries of the universe. By it I draw the circle of the something which emergeth from the illimitable deep of the no thing. Therefore is this longing the root of Jabura severity, for it restricteth the liberty of the no thing, and produceth an appearance of limitation and separateness therein. The nail is a perfect symbol of this severity. It hath a property of sharpness and stringency, like the point of a nail. And again, as a nail fasteneth together the parts of a house, so doth the desire of coming forth join together the parts of the universe, my dwelling place. These are mysteries, O Israel, difficult to understand. With much searching shalt thou still fail to grasp them, unless thy search be rightly prosecuted. Yet the way to understanding is ever open to him who will follow it steadfastly. It is the way of the heart, and thou shalt be guided therein by thine own inner hearing. Even this aspect of my nature, which presenteth itself under the signature of the letter Vav, is a promise and a fulfillment of the way of life, manifesting myself as the link which uniteth all the separate parts of my creation. I make myself known as the bond of union between creature and creature, and between creatures and their creator. The creator is myself, and I am the nail which joineth thee to me. In thee am I ever present, and thou hast only to turn within to find me. Shut thine ears to the confusion of the world which surroundeth thee. Open thine inner hearing. Aspire earnestly to me. Verily thy aspiration is for me. And what sendeth thee in search of me is that same eager longing which hath brought thee forth. And it hath brought forth too the four worlds and all that they contain. Thy search for me is mine own search for myself, nor shall that quest of mine, which seemeth now to be thee to be, thine own pursuit of wisdom and of understanding, be doomed to failure. Whosoever thou art that readest or hearest these words, know that thou shalt come to me. I am the revealer of all mysteries, none other is the teacher of any man. These words that thou readest are that perchance are read to thee, whose words are they but mine. I have brought thee before me for instruction, and whether thou receivest it willing or unwillingly, know that because thou hast this day heard or read these words, thou art henceforth consciously united to me. Today thou mayest reject me. Today thou mayest receive these words with scorn. Yet it shall be that my voice shall go with thee henceforth forever. When thou sleepest, that shall instruct thee, and even when thou art busiest with the affairs of daily life, I shall ring suddenly in thy inner ear. Forever art thou bound to me, and in a day, or a month, or a year, or a lifetime, or 100 lifetimes, thou shalt know this, even as I know it. And when thou hast reached this goal, what shall be a day, or a month, or a year, or a lifetime, or 100 lifetimes? Time ceaseth for those who come to me. The quest will be forgotten when thou hast reached the goal. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The Meditation on Va.
Launch Sunday.
Stop by Jewel Osco and bring delicious meals to your table this new year. Share meaningful meals and moments together around the freshest ingredients. Get your favorites guaranteed fresh or your money back. Enjoy the same prices online as in-store. Sincerely, Jewel Osco. Restrictions apply.
The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 6, The Lovers. The Meditation on Zahim. I am the sword which is understanding, dividing between the darkness and the light at creation's dawn. Not by addition doth the multiplicity of creatures come into existence, for I, the source of all, am one alone, even as it is written, beside me there is nothing. Verily the beginning of all things is division, as Moses saith, in the beginning the Elohim cut apart the heaven and the earth. That therefore which to purblind eyes seemeth to be another than myself, that which to the deluded appeareth as somewhat fashioned by my hand, into which I enter not, the wise know, as a portion of mine own being, set apart for my regard by mine unfathomable power of self-reflection. This power the secret wisdom calleth the mother. It is the power of understanding, the power also of the Elohim. For in Bina are the Elohim enthroned, and their thrones are set in her. Mine are the thrones, mine the powers of the Elohim, and I whom men adore as Father, am known also to the wise as the great Mother, in whose name are hid the names of the Father and the Son. This name is the sharp sword whereby the one that I am divideth itself into the many. From Bina this sharp sword proceedeth, and by its separative force I cleave asunder mine own unity, dividing myself into two, the Father and the Mother. This thou mayest discern as Zahim, whose beginning is the sword of separation, whose middle is the paternal Yod, and whose end referreth by numeration to the gates of the Mother. Here too shalt thou perceive the Elohim, for they are 7, and the lights of emanation, for they are 10, and the gates of understanding, for they are 50. Thus in Zion the sword is shown, a figure of all things that have been, that are, and that shall be in time to come. And the sword flashes forth from the heart of the Mother into the heart of the Son, and its course is the path of the disposing intelligence. This path is called the foundation of beauty in the place of the supernals. And why is it so called? Because it riseth in Bina, and proceedeth unto Tifereth. And that same Bina is thus the foundation of beauty, yet her place is among the supernals, for she is the second emanation from the crown. After another manner also is Bina the foundation of beauty, for she is Ama, the mother, and that same Ama, by number, one with B and Ben, the son, which is Tifereth. This mother is the great sea, yet is the power flashing through the path of the sword of fiery power. For the sea is the sphere of Shabbati, which is the secret abode of fire. The fire of the Father is shut up in the water of the Mother, and from this fire and water proceedeth the airy spirit of the path of the sword. And this airy spirit is the breath of my angel Raphael, he who rightly apportioneth my word, and ruleth as Lord in the sign of the twins. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case, the meditation of Zayn. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 7, the Chariot. The meditation on Cain. I am the hedge of protection enclosing the field of existence. In this field thou dwellest, and I am thy defense against the darkness which is without. Yet is this hedge of safety also a wall of limitation, and the darkness against which it defendeth thee is the radiant darkness of the limitless light, too brilliant for thine eyes. For within the wall of limitation is the field of mine activity in the world of manifestation. This also is that which is the wise call the path of the house of influence. For into it descendeth the influx of my power. Because it seemeth to be set apart, it is also the field of sin and of punishment, because limitation is the root of failure, and sin is but the missing of the target of perfection. Yet as the archer gaineth skill by reason of aiming again and again at his mark, though in the beginning he misseth 1,000 times, so doth the fruit of sin, which men call punishment. Perfect the skill of my chosen ones. Behold, sin and punishment are one, and the fire of punishment is the fire that refineth my works. Even in the sinner I am the actor, and I too am the sufferer in the experience of punishment. Thy pain is my pain, thy suffering my suffering, thy sorrows pierce my heart, thy anguish is mine anguish. I stand not aloof, unmoved, watching my handiwork as a potter watcheth the clay upon his wheel. Nay, not so, for I am the clay and the wheel and the potter too. I am the work and the worker. Take heed lest you mistake these words. Be not deluded by false reasonings. They err who say, the Lord is the door of all, therefore may we do what pleaseth us, for we can do naught of ourselves. Know that the error of thy thought is the folly that any man do what pleaseth him. This false reasoning is rooted in the delusion of separateness. The appearance of separateness cometh of necessity from my self-manifestation. The delusion from it is the root of sin and pain. Yet the delusion passeth with the completion of the work, for which I enter into manifestation. And because nothing can prevail against me, even the worst of sinners shall come in their appointed time to liberation. If thou canst grasp it, that liberation consisted of the breaking down and utter destruction of the hedge of protection which encircleth thee and guardeth thee from the terror of darkness which is without. For when the work is finished in the field of Cape, when the abode of influence hath served its purpose, then shalt thou know, all Israel, that thou hast naught to fear, not to be guarded against. Then shall the dreadful darkness be revealed to thy perfected vision as the flashing radiance of light limitless, and from the field of sin and punishment thou shalt pass into the boundless freedom of my divine perfection. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on Cain. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 8, Strength. The meditation on Taith. My secret wisdom is hid in number, and in the sign of the tally is concealed the building of the whole creation. The number veileth the form of the Elohim. For number is that thick darkness whereof it is written, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And again, Tetragrammaton said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. Ye shall know that this darkness is Egypt, and by the wisdom hidden in the darkness did Moses lead Israel forth. In the darkness which is Egypt is the darkness of number, concealing the one in the cloud of the many. Of that darkness the serpent is a sign, that great serpent, the royal snake of Egypt. This is the serpent of temptation, yet from it cometh forth redemption. For the serpent is the first appearance of the Anointed One, and that which casteth Adam out from the garden of the east. Even that shall bring him back once more to paradise. Thus in Taith is shown the secret of the going forth and the return, for Taith is the serpent coiled around the toe. This is the sign of the name of names, which none many utter. Again, it is the symbol of the tree of divine perfections, encircled by the power of the letters wherewith is formed the whole creation. And because the tally referreth to counting, and so to all the works of number, by this letter do I show, first, that all things are brought forth through number, and second, that all works of power accomplished by the wise have number for their foundation. For the circle of the tally is coiled fiery power, which cometh from the sun, and to rule this thou must learn to count. Count aright, and thou shalt have oil for thy lamps. For the oil for lighting containeth the secret of the letter Tape. This is the oil which riseth like a serpent, the oil which thy father Jacob poured upon the stone in the house of strength. Verily, he who knoweth the secret of that stone knoweth also the secret of the serpent. And in him shall be fulfilled the saying, when Israel was a child, then I loved him, and called him my son out of Egypt. And he who knoweth this shall be a measurer of mercy, and all his works shall be rooted in the strength of my law. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on tape. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 9, The Hermit. The meditation on Yod. I am the creative hand which fashioneth the worlds and establisheth the spheres, while yet the primal fire circleth untrammeled in the womb of space. That fashioning is not as the handiwork of man. It is my self-utterance through the voice of vision. By it I declare myself. Yea, I utter myself as the father of all, and from my fatherhood is the brotherhood of all creatures. Therefore do the wise see in the letter Yod the fatherhood of Chakma, the unbound wisdom which establisheth all. That Father Ab am I, the source of all, one, in mine inmost being, two, in my self-utterance, and three, in my union with my divine manifestation, creating, preserving, transforming throughout endless ages. From my presence do all things derive their substance. From my power all movement beginneth, and my wisdom is the foundation of all knowing. Therefore Yod is the foundation of all the letters, and every letter exhibiteth Yod in its formation. By these 22 letters is the circle of creation described. I am the fluid darkness, which is the ink wherewith I inscribe myself upon the scroll of manifestation. Verily, this writing of the book of being telleth no new thing. They understand aright who say with Solomon that beneath the sun is nothing new. Of whatsoever is, thou mayst say with truth, it was. Hence is the vision of the prophet, which seemeth to pierce the veil between what is and what is yet to come. In truth, the recollection of that which seemeth to belong to the past. My hand holdeth the whole circle of being, and for me time is not. I am the link between Chesed and Tiferath, combining the waters of substance with the air of life. I measure and bound the Ruach, which hath its place in the path of mediating influence, because I am the intelligence of will which carrieth the water of mercy into the sphere of beauty. I am 10, yet from me proceedeth 20, for I am 10 ineffable, and 10 manifested in creation. Therefore is Yod both 10 and 20. And the 10 made manifest are also 7, and these are the Elohim. These 7 bring forth 10 again, for the heptad, which is below the supernal triad, completeth itself in the kingdom of the bride. For 10-fold is my self-utterance, and therefore is it written of the lights of emanation, 10 and not 11, 10 and not 9.
Oh, totally dentist.
The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case.
How excited to meet you.
The Meditation on Yod.
Excited to meet you. Excited to meet you.
The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 10, Wheel of Fortune. The Meditation on Kaf.
Wish we were dying.
In my grasp are all things held in perfect equilibrium.
Wish we were
I bind all opposites together, each to its complement. One by another do I mitigate. So that nowhere in the universe is there any real want or failure, neither is there anywhere injustice, for the semblance of it is one of the manifold aspects of the delusion of separateness. Forms are as vases into which I pour the precious perfume of mine innermost essence, and where I am there must be truth and right abide. Take heed lest thou despise the forms thou understandest not. Every vessel of life is an aspect of me, the Most High. The strife, the quarrels, the contentions that thou witnessed day by day are the play of the light and darkness which I am. All sense of effort, all semblance of exertion, know these as illusion. And with thy mind's eye see me entering into all. Know me thus as the conciliating intelligence which rewardeth those who seek, and know too that whatsoever a man seeketh, he desireth me. Of my beneficence I give freely to everyone that seeketh, and from me cometh the victory which they win who gain to knowledge of secret things. This victory cometh during the sleep of the body, and the secret of my rewarding beneficence is bound up with the secret of sleep hid in the letter Kaf. For in their numeration, Kaf and Kaf are bound together, and what bindeth them is the multiplication of the 10 by itself. By balancing opposites with exactitude, unfailing, I bring mastery of all conditions and circumstances to him who seeketh faithfully to do my will. Such an one will master days and seas and times, because through him my rulership of everything shall find free outlet. Ever by balance do the wise attain. Even as there can be no grasp without the hand, so is there no conciliation of seeming opposites without knowledge of my will. Therefore does Kaf, the hand exerting itself to grasp, follow Yod, the hand creative, in the order of the sacred letters. And as the rewarder and conciliator, I am the Lord of fortune. Whosoever comforteth his acts to my will shall know me in truth as the Father of mercy, whose chariot in the heavens is the greatest benefactor, Tzedek. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The Meditation on Kaf. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 11, Justice, the Meditation on Lawman. I am the goad of action which impelleth and directeth, the great ox of the breath of life. I am the power of equilibration which holdeth Ruach in balance between formation and destruction. As a driver with his goad keepeth his ox from straying off the highway. Yet is this directive power inherent in Ruach itself, for I myself am that great breath of life. And because that great breath existeth before all else, I am the leader, the chief, and the judge of all creatures. The lies find me thus concealed in lawmen. Before this I have declared myself to be the teacher of teachers, and now I say unto thee, O Israel, that mine instruction is like unto a goad, which guideth thee through the long circuit of existence until thou returnest to myself. I am the root of all action. No work is anywhere performed, whereof I am not the doer. By action are all things determined, and every action proceedeth from my grasp of every condition of my self-manifestation. No man accomplisheth anything of himself. They are deluded who think otherwise. Have I not free will, saith the fool? But the wise know that in all the chains of worlds there is no creature that hath any will apart from my one will. My will is free indeed, and he who knoweth it as the wellspring of his willing remaineth free from error. Let thy meditation bring thee to the rest in that will. Then in the midst of action shalt thou be at peace, and in thy busiest hours shalt thou find the eternal worker doing all things well in thee. Lo, I guide thee all the way. Rest thou in me. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The Meditation on Lamed. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 12, Hanged Man. The Meditation on Maine. I am the water of life, the mute, dark mirror of substance, reflecting myself unto myself. This is the womb of all beings, changeless. This great deep of elemental water remaineth forever pure. Because of this, it possesseth the quality of stability. It holdeth all things in solution, yet its own nature remaineth ever the same. Maine is the murmuring of this great sea of life, and by the addition of its letters M-I-N revealeth the number 90, which represented the operation of Yesod through the 10 lights of emanation. Consider this well, O Israel, for as Yesod is the foundation of existence, so are the waters the substance of that foundation. From water do all forms have their beginning, even as it is declared in Genesis. Remember also that I, the Lord, make myself manifest in a fourfold manner, and then consider what is the meaning of the letter Main, with respect to its numbering as 40. Here thou shalt see the figure of the fourfold elemental division of my nature working through the 10 Sephiroth. All this is held in the primal water. That element of creative potency is the matrix of all things. Hear and forget not, I am both father and mother, and as mother, I am she who bringeth forth and nourisheth. Yet this, my maternal nature, remaineth virgin and unsullied, though it be the womb of birth for countless thousands. Absorb thyself in the great sea of the waters of life. Dive deep in it until thou hast lost thyself, and having lost thyself, then shalt thou find thyself again, and shalt be one with me, thy Lord and King. Thus shalt thou learn the secret of the restoration of the King unto his throne. And in this path of stability shall my knowledge of roots of being be united to the glorious splendor of the perfect knowledge which is established in the mirror of the clear waters of whole. For when the surface of those waters is disturbed by no slightest ripple of thought, then shall the glory of myself, which is thy true self, be mirrored unto thee. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. the meditation on Maine. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 13, Death. The Meditation on Noon. I am the fish which swimmeth in the sea of the great waters, bearing all things in my belly, even as it is written, he had his dwelling in the great sea, and was a fish therein. This is the great fish, wherein the prophet abode 3 days and 3 nights. And because of Jonah's suffering, is the great fish an emblem of all pains and sorrows. For as the prophet's anguish brought him to follow my way, so are all pains and sorrows the portals through which man passeth to the heart of the great mother. Verily, the mother is the sea, wherein swimmeth the fish, and the fish and the sea are one. That one is the all, and entereth into all. Everything that is, even those things which men account unclean, is an aspect of this all, which is myself. And as the fish is hidden in the waters of the sea, so is the secret of the one shut up within the semblance of the many. Therefore is the fish a sign of the secret wisdom, for that wisdom is naught but the discovery of the one. To thee, O Israel, is the opening of the shutting of the gates. To thee, after many questionings of what and which, shall appear as in a flash of lightning the unfolding of the secret, that dazzling whiteness, too brilliant to be borne by mortal eyes, lighteth the path of every blessed one who attaineth immortality. Yea, immortality is known to the wise who understand the secret of my perpetual being, the secret whereof the fish concealeth and revealeth the mystery. For the fish is the perpetual one, the father of salvation. Therefore is it written, Joshua was the son of Nun. What then is this that continueth without ceasing? Verily, it is I myself, and that which changeth not is the motion which carrieth all things from place to place. Change perpetual is at the root of all things, and change hath 2 faces, a face of life and a face of death. For know ye, O Israel, that what men call life and death are as beads of white and black strung upon a thread, and this thread of perpetual change is mine own changeless life, which bindeth together the unending series of little lives and deaths. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The Meditation on Noon. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 14, Temperance. The Meditation on Shamek. I am the support of all that enter into existence. Upon me all depend, and I fail not. This have I declared unto thee in various ways, but listen now to my words again. I sustain creation in the midst of a perpetual ebb and flow. Therefore do I assume the appearance of a refiner's fire, forever purging out the dross of forms outworn. This is mine aspect of severity, and of this it is written, Tetragrammaton Elohim is a devouring fire. Thus am I as one who testeth gold in a furnace, and this aspect of my being presenteth to the unrighteous a face of wrath. Yet by the purgation of fire do I uphold and sustain thee in every moment of thy life. Behold, I am he who trieth thee with many subtle tests. Wise out there, thou knowest that the subtle serpent of temptation is in truth the anointed one, who bringeth thee to liberation. I am he who establisheth the time of the decree, who declareth the term of the days of Adam. The fullness of those days shall see the strengthening of thy weakness, O Israel, and in the renewal of thy powers shall be made manifest the plenitude of my great name in the abode of wisdom. For when thou hast been tried as by fire, the gold of thy beauty shall be purged of all dross, and the glory of the heavenly Son shall all men behold. Then shall the vision of thy Lord be granted unto thee, and seeing him shalt thou behold the shining one, who is thine own true self. In fullness of that blessed vision shalt thou be restored, and as a young lion trampleth upon his prey, so shalt thou conquer all the phantoms of delusion. Lo, in that day shall the light that is bind fast every hideous shape of darkness, and all thy habitations shall be blessed by the white brilliance which descendeth from the crown. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on Shamek. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 15, the Devil. The meditation on Ahim. Thus saith he who formulateth the darkness, I am Lord, not of light alone, but of darkness also. For I, the one, am all-pervading. This is a hard saying and a stumbling block to many. Yet must ye consider it well and ponder it in your hearts. It is not written in Exodus that the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh. And again, in Isaiah, I create both the evil and the good. Have ye not also read, the eye of the Lord is in every place? And David saith, if I descend into Sheol, thou art there. Ayin is the eye, and in it is in every place in very truth, because place there is not, save in the manifested, and wherever place is, there also are light and darkness side by side. From the mixture of light and darkness do all things proceed, and I am Prince of darkness as well as King of light. Shall there be anything wherein I, the Lord of all, have no dominion? They see crookedly who know this not, and in their deluded minds they divide my nature, setting the kingdom of light over against the realm of darkness, and thus making two gods. But the darkness is the fountain of existence, whence the universe floweth forth, and thick darkness, which is my habitation, is the substance of all outward appearance. 60 is the eye, which is the wellspring of outward appearance. The eye is the one, multiplied through the Sephiroth. It is the sun of life and light, shining through the 12 tribes of heaven, and spreading their power through the tree of life to make all things new. Yet does every beam of that sun cast shadow also, for in all creation are light and darkness mixed, and their equilibrium is the mystery of mystery. One, and not two, is the beginning and end of all. But two are the aspects it presenteth to mankind, because men are subject to the illusion of duality. I, the Lord, destroy with darkness, but with darkness do I also create. The wise discern this. Fools deluded by outward appearance create a demon out of the web of their folly. In the last day shall the demon be cast into the lake of fire, but to each man there is appointed a last day, and none knoweth the time, save he who hath appointed it. The lake of fire is that divine understanding which cometh to a man who succeedeth in contemplation, as did our father Abraham, and the last day is the time of that achievement. Then shall all things pass away for that man, and he shall behold all things anew, and the prince of darkness shall be cast into the lake of fire. For then shall that enlightened one see that the demon is but the shadow of the Lord. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on pain. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 16, the Tower. The meditation on pain. I am the mouth whence issueth the breath of life. I am the all-devouring one whereunto all things return. Beginning and end is my holy name. For my mouth is a sign of my self-duplication, whereby I testify to myself of myself. I am the word of life, which exciteth all beginnings. The word which hath its own beginning in victory, and its completion in splendor, and is the balance between them. It is written that the word of the Lord faileth not, and how else should it be? Of a truth I am victorious before ever the battle is joined. And the continuance of my life is an effulgent splendor throughout eternity. I am, forms pass, from me they go, and again they come to me. Their returning is what men call destruction. Be not deceived by their lie. I tear down only to build anew. Verily, destruction is the foundation of existence, and the tearing down thou seest is but the assembling of material for grander structure. Therefore is it written, man doth not live by bread only, but by all that proceedeth out of the pay of tetragrammaton. Not by the part, O Israel, but by all which proceedeth from the mouth of the Lord. Deluded are they who say, man liveth by the mercy of the Lord. Know ye that by the balance of mercy and severity is the continuance of every life, yea, and of this whole universe. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on pain. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 17, the Star. The meditation on Zadi. Thinkest thou, O seeker for wisdom, that thou bringest thyself into the light by thine own search? Not so. I am the hook, cast into the waters of darkness to bring men from their depths into the sphere of true perception. Entering that sphere, they must die to their old selves. Even as a fish cast upon the land must die, yet do they die only to live again. And what before seemed life to them now weareth the aspect of death. Men think they seek me, but it is I who seek them. No other seeker is there than myself, and when I find mine own, the pain of questing is at an end. The fish graspeth the hook, thinking to find food, but the fisherman is the enjoyer of the meal. Understand this saying if they canst. The hook and the gate and the right hand am I. I draw men forth from the death of error into the life of truth. I am the gate through which they pass. I am the hand extended to guide them through the portal. And I am the window looking out upon the world and inward upon myself. The passage from the death and darkness of the outer into the life and light of the inner is but the turning of the eye of the soul from the contemplation of appearance to the vision of reality. I am the balance between victory and foundation. That balance I preserve by ceaselessly meditation upon mine own nature. Only because I never forget myself does the creation continue. The seeds of existence spring from my self-contemplation. That self-contemplation is a great silence, for not by noise and tumult is my work perfected. Herein is the secret of the pillar of establishment, which Solomon set before the ports of the temple, and this is the royal secret of my reign. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on Zadi. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. Key 18, the Moon. The meditation on Kaf. I am the knot in the endless cord of life, binding past the future in the eternal present. I am Aleph and Tav, beginning and end, all that was and all that shall be, now is, for in mine eyes time is not. Therefore am I the outset of the quest, and also the goal thereof, and I am the way of life. This is my hidden being, behind the face of the vast countenance. Therefore am I called the back of the head, which is not a head. I am the sum of all perfections, the dead multiplied by itself. In this my number shall be found a key to bringing forth a form. My presence is the cause of every form, and to those who have eyes to see, wherever a man may plant his foot is holy ground. Not alone in sanctuaries set apart, but in the street and marketplace, in the abode of sin as well as in the house of prayer, mayest thou say with thy father Jacob, surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. Verily, thy consciousness of body is my self-knowledge of form, and by that knowledge working in thee do I maintain thine existence in all states and conditions. Behold, I dwell with thee, O Israel, and thou dwellest with me. Take heed that thou despise not thy Lord in human form. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on Kaf. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom, Paul Foster Case. Key 19, the Sun. The meditation on Reish. I am the face which shineth ever and before, which the darkness hasteth away. I am the white brilliance of the head which is not a head. I am the profuse giver of all abundance. Yet though I am the greatest of the great, I am also the smallest of the small. I am the depth as well as the height, the without as well as that which is within. For in me are all opposites united. I am the glory of the eternal source, and I am the foundation of the kingdom of the ageless result. I am an Asea. I am the sun, whose rays are the spring of life and action. The sun in this material world is the father of all bodies therein, and the cause of every movement. Yet, though I am the sun, I am also every sun. Lose not the spirit in the symbol, O seeker for light. Beneath the wings of the great sun thou dwellest, and this is the sun whereof the prophet spake. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. Yea, in that day shalt thou sing unto the Lord a new song, a song of rejoicing in his beautiful countenance, the pace of thine own true self. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom by Paul Foster Case. The meditation on race. The Book of Tokens, 22 Meditations on the Ageless Wisdom, Paul Foster Case. Key 20, Judgment.
The way the movie depicts him, or even in real life, where he acts as if he didn't just create the most destructive weapon known to man, and that he's shocked by it. It's like, bro.
Like, he knew exactly what was going to happen, man. Like, how did you?
How can you not know? He's not stupid. The guy's a genius. Video. Yes, inventing a nuclear bomb is going to result in the nuclear bomb being used on a civilian population. That is just how it works.
I think what you're seeing there is just like regret, right? Like, you know what you're doing at the time, but you don't have your priorities aligned correctly, and then later you regret what you did because you weren't doing it for the right reasons in the first place.
I think it would have been invented anyway, regardless of Oppenheimer's.
Absolutely. And the devastation that was avoided is also worth talking about and recognizing and appreciating. Like, yeah, bad stuff happens in war, but that doesn't necessarily mean that war is pointless.
With the use of weapons, correct. That's one of the things that idealists don't understand. You see them opining on the use of conventional weapons, even nowadays, in places like Ukraine or Israel or whatever, and they're like, this is a genocide, or this is a human rights violation, these are all war criminals, da-da-da-da-da. They don't seem to understand anything. The people who say these things, you can deplore the use of these weapons without using ridiculous labels like that, because none of these actions are happening in a vacuum. This is not, some second coming of Adolf Hitler deciding to murder a bunch of people. None of the stuff that we are seeing right now, on either side, by the way, on either side of either conflict or any number of conflicts, is happening in a vacuum. It's this idealism that somehow magically a group of people decide that they're going to murder another group of people. That's just not true. That has been true in the past. World War II is a pretty good example of that actually being true. And if you want to go further back, look at what the Native Americans did to the Inuit. They would literally hunt them for sport. There are accounts of this by pioneers who traveled with the Native Americans, like the Copper Indians. They would go up to the north and murder a bunch of Inuits who were just peacefully fishing. It's a thing that they did. Evil shit.